going to be an interesting one. We're going to do probably 30% of this is going to be actual engine work, like what we actually did to get the engine running again. For those of you who don't like that, that's all right. We're going to do a houseboat tour. On this big old boat behind me, I'm going to show you the inside. And for those of you that like nature and don't like hanging out on a marina, River and I took a walk and came across a Copperhead, and I'm going to show you that whole walk, what we did when we saw it, the five minutes beforehand when we're just hanging out and everything, and then how it affected our day. So this is gonna be a good episode. If you guys saw episode 71, my anchor line got tied around a 5-gallon bucket with 4 large branches sticking out of it. Put these huge scratches in my boat. I have tried to pressure wash. I have tried to scrub them clean. They will not come off. So at this point, we're gonna have to use some sandpaper to get them off here. My dinghy looks out of place here, but we're getting it worked on. Now I bought this 8 horsepower Honda motor brand new for approximately $3,200 in Wisconsin, and it's getting its first oil change and gear lube change right now. Then we're going to put it back in the water. Alright, the dinghy's coming back down on the Kubota tractor. My favorite tractors are Kubotas. I learned how to drive on a Kubota. We got the top off because we're going to put it in the water. We're going to start it, run it back to the dock, and then check the oil level to make sure it's full. He's got to inspect everything you do to his boat. As long as it's not leaking, I don't care. Essentially, water comes in through the hull, right there, comes up, goes to this splitter. The splitter is a one-way valve in it, so it can't go back out through the lake. Comes here, goes up into the impeller right here, through the impeller, through the entire motor, back out the front, through the T, and it just continues to do a little circle, including the motor. And then once it reaches 180 degrees, the thermostat opens up, allows the water to come into this pipe, which is the exhaust. The exhaust goes up here, gets rid of the air, mixes with water, and then goes out the back of the boat. No one has ever seen this setup. No mechanic I've ever been to has ever seen this setup in a sailboat. So I have trouble getting worked on it. What you're looking at right now is the coil. That's the only thing I didn't replace in the electrical line. So that goes up to the cap. The cap is new. Everything inside the cap is new, including the timing, the points. The only thing that's not brand new is the rotor, but I've ordered 2 of those, and they'll come in and I'll get them at the next marina. And then this is the housing that holds the impeller. And we replaced all 4 spark plugs. So if my channel was about drama and getting people just to click on it, I gotta tell you, I have like 5 episodes in this motor that I could just do that. But instead of doing that, I don't really like that kind of thing, so I'm just going to speed through it in like 30 seconds or less, or try to get it real quick about the the flow of how things happen and how, I mean, this has beat me down. I gotta tell you, this motor over this last week has really beat me down. And then we get something to work, and you jump up and you're excited and you're screaming and you're yelling, and then you find out, well, something else is wrong. And it gets you back down, and then you fix that and you move up. Essentially, this is what's happened. I came in here, the motor was running horribly. We really didn't know why. We assumed it was the impeller, and we assumed it was the loose belt on the alternator. But in order to test the motor, you have to get the impeller working. So that was the first thing we did. And it took a long time to get the impeller working because of that suction area. It's hard to get the air out of that system. So once we got that working, as we were trying to get that working, the motor just stopped working. Then we were like, okay, well, in order to actually get the water out, we got to make the motor run. So then everything I bought for spare parts became something that I used right now to do a complete tune-up. Then we got the motor running well enough that we could try to get the water coming out. Once we got the water coming out, then we went back through and did a detailed look over everything, and essentially found, once we had everything running and I unplugged the boat from the dock, that the battery was not running above 13 volts, which means the alternator wasn't working. So we pulled the alternator. The alternator went into the guy to get rebuilt, just like I did the starter 2 weeks ago. And essentially they said the voltage regulator that's not on the alternator, it's actually mounted on the motor, is bad. And then the alternator is not making enough current even when it's running. So right now, I'm going to show you a picture of my motor. There's no alternator. And I'm sitting here waiting for that to happen, and it's Thanksgiving. So now the good part is I'm going to show you how cool this place is, and then I've just been having fun this whole time anyway, so. I am not gonna lie, I don't have a lens that is gonna fit this boat in unless I go at a serious angle here. So, I mean, that's what 80 feet looks like. And this is what a 16-foot wide porch looks like. Okay. Rob is the guy who owns this and his family. I met him on an awesome day because it was the day he became a grandfather. So he was in a really good mood. And basically we just went through this boat real quick. The only difference between this and most houseboats is it's 20 feet longer. It's just a big one. Otherwise, a lot of houseboats are 16 feet wide. Coming on board this boat, it does not move when I step on it at all. It's so big. And then as you go up these stairs, the distance that you walk to the back of this boat, now I'll show you a minute the kitchen on the right here, but as you go up here, it's so far to walk, and you're looking around, you're so high in the air that you look over every other boat. It's such a great viewing point. Then you walk past the sun tanning area, and you got yourself a nice bar here with a grill, sink, and the navigation area up top. It's set up just right. Now the living room basically feels like a house. Full beam, first bathroom, second bathroom. The way you know this is the master bathroom is, yes, it has a full tub. In the kitchen, the driving station. Now let's zoom in on the driving station. You have double sticks, which means 2 motors, so you can turn the thing on a dime. Now, that little tiny stick right there, that's how you actually drive it at the dock. We're going to go outside and I'm going to show you what that stick controls. But essentially, you move that little lever and the boat does whatever you do with that stick. This is one of the bow thrusters. There is bow and stern thrusters on starboard and port. They're hydraulic, if you see. They can run either direction and they spin a propeller under the boat. And with a stick from either up top or down inside, he can drive the boat sideways or do a complete 360 or whatever he wants. A computer controls which engine is used, and all he does is just move a throttle or a stick up top. And the boat figures it all out to do what he wants. When the boat's underway, it has 2 screws, which basically means motors or propellers, and they're 300 cubic inch. He wants them to be more powerful, but that's what runs the boat and when it's underway at high speeds. At the thrusters is how you maneuver it at low speeds. This boat will do 12 knots. He doesn't drive it that fast, but it'll do it. Take the time to let me know what you think about this houseboat tour, if I should do more, if you guys like seeing boats while I'm going along my journey, that kind of thing, in the comments. Watch him come running. Hey, River. Oh, don't slip off the dock. He took the turn. Come on, let's get back to the boat. Come on. This is where he falls off the dock, when he does these kind of zoomies on the dock. He gets too fast for the turn. But it's a pretty wide dock. He should be all right. I've been walking for a little more than a mile. River's dying. It's hot out. It's down near 75 degrees. This beach is amazing. It's beautiful sand. Hey, River, right now. Get over here. Get over here. River, right now. Get over here. Get over here. Stay right now. All right, so that's Cottonmouth. Right there. Yeah, right on the edge. That's how you can see them. They're gonna be out. You see that? And you just gotta pay attention to your dock. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy is that snake's covering its head, but it is, it's a fat one. It's like 3 inches wide. It's definitely a cottonmouth. Okay. Well, that's why your dog needs to listen to you when you yell like that. You see how he didn't push back at all? He came right to me. Woo! Okay. Yeah, dog went to the bathroom here some while ago. Get your ball, River. So we moved. I've had my hand on his collar for about, I don't know, a few hundred feet. And then once I looked around and we were around the corner, let him go. Yeah. Ooh, it's quicksand over here. Okay, let's go to the sun. Come on, it's wet over here. Couple things I want to explain about not only the snake, but also the engine trouble that I've had. When River made a beeline, he was just basically walking, smelling everything in the sand, and then all of a sudden he started walking directly towards something. That makes me look up and figured out that the snake was there. So it was his body language that made me realize it was a snake. The next thing is, the first time my motor died and I was on Lake Michigan, I almost had a heart attack. I gotta tell you, I thought the world was gonna end. Then, this last few times when the motor died, it didn't even panic me. The first time I saw a snake, I thought the world was gonna end. Now, when I see a snake, I just call my dog, walk 50 feet, start going about my day. It's amazing what experience and I guess being desensitized to situations or tough situations can do to a person where you can just remain calm through even the toughest situation.